Uh, Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello. Good morning. I'm back. Good afternoon, good evening. Can we all hear me? If you can see this live section and you're live, kindly put up a message and say, I'm here now. We are taking few seconds to wait for most of us to join us. Okay. Just type it in the chat box if you can hear me very well, loud and clear, and then you can see me very well from your hand. Just type I'm in and I can hear you so that we know how many people can see us so we proceed. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Faustine. I can see you. Any other person? Thank you. You can hear me loud and clear, right? Okay, thanks so much. Thanks for being here. Can you hear me very well? Is it very audible there? Okay. Thanks so much. We are holding on. We are going to be holding on for like 3 minutes so that others can join us. But if yes, thank you. Thanks so much. That is what I want to hear. I want to reach. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks so much. So let us hold on for like 2 minutes. 2 minutes as we prepare ourselves. So as we are preparing for this section, I want a few of us. You can see I have my signature on my neck. So kindly have your tape measure with you, and then your calculator. We've already posted this on the group, and then we talk about this. Your calculator, your writing materials, because you're going to be writing. Okay, so I need you to bring out your writing materials as well, your tape measure. You're going to be taking your neck circumference measurement so that we can do the calculation in order for us to teach the formula and the templates via this live section for these 2 hours. Okay, so just keep preparing those things: your tape measure, your calculator, your pencil, your writing materials. Please, you are writing. All right, so we are counting down. We have just 60 seconds to go, and then we just start because we have so much to cover and we do not want to waste each other time. All right. Okay, about you. Right. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Once again, everyone from different countries right on this channel this afternoon. Here in Nigeria, it's 2 p.m. Okay, so welcome to the Neckline Gape-Free Masterclass. We have been on this since we've been talking about this for some time now, and then we've been pushing it out. There's so many people to come, and then we come together a day like this to fix a day like this so that we come together and then we'll be able to tackle the foundation of a neckline, because in an outfit, neckline is very, very important. It is key. Honestly, neckline will make or mar your dressing, irrespective of how beautiful a dressing is. Once your neckline have issue, it's not just going to be affecting the neckline, but also the shoulder. That will also be a problem. And then it also comes to us to the armhole. Okay, it comes to us to the armhole, and then it becomes a challenge. You don't want to imagine seeing a beautiful dress and then you complete the project, then the neckline is gaping around somewhere, or is not fitted, or it is actually you wanted to put maybe a V neckline, and then you eventually finish completing your project and you notice you're having a U. Wow. You're having a U neckline. That is going to be so annoying. Just like, no, this wasn't the neckline. Or you're trying to achieve a particular neckline, then it's eventually fucked up. Maybe at times on a stretch fabric, on even on your materials, 100% quality, then you notice, wow, what happened there? Then becomes a challenge. So today we are going to be dwelling right on this, and we are going to be tackling this. So I am going to advise you, please don't miss any section of this. I know it is 2 hours, it's a long hard time for me and for you, but let us maximize this 2 hours, and I promise you this 2 hours, it's going to be a lifetime experience for you that you are not going to forget in a hurry. And I will also advise to also ask questions. That is one of the essence of having the live section. Yes, even if there is going to be a replay, there is not going to be an opportunity for you to have a question. Remember, for one-on-one section like this, we do collect money for it. So we are bringing this right here today. So ask me your questions. So by the time we are teaching and then you don't understand any step, ask your questions. This is why the opportunity is presented and it's open to all. All right, so let me welcome everyone officially. Welcome everyone to today's masterclass, Gape-Free Necklines. Yeah. So we've been waiting, and finally, this is the day we've been waiting for. If you have ever drafted a neckline and it's looked perfect on paper, but started gaping, falling, or losing shape after sewing, then this class is exactly what you need, because today we are not guessing, we are learning the formula behind necklines. Now let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Mary Adedoyin, and I am the lead fashion tutor of Those Fashions Academy. This is where we give our creativity expressions. How many of you have been to this channel? Is this your first time of coming here? Kindly indicate in the section by giving me a thumbs up. It is your first time, or wave of hand. It's your first time here. It's your first time of being to this channel. Let me see your wave of hand in the comment section. All right, so I am glad to have each and every one of you here. Now, let us quickly unveil what we are going to be covering in the next 2 hours. 2 hours is small for this particular course that I want to cover, but I want to assure individual, each and every one of us, that I am going to try as much as possible to put in the best to make sure that it is explained in detail and you also get your calculation. We are doing it together, and I'm going to be asking you questions. There is class exercise for this session where you're also going to be doing your calculation, and you have to put it in the comment section for me to know if you are actually getting it right. Are you with me? Okay, thank you. So now in the next 2 hours, I am going to be showing you how to measure your neckline. That is very important. Measurement is the foundation. If a foundation is not right, what happens to everything? Everything becomes faulty. Everything we built is built on a great foundation, and the foundation, it is the measurements. So the measurements of the neckline. So second is how to calculate your neckline measurements correctly. Why necklines gape? The question is, why do neckline gapes? What really happened? What's actually happened? Why neckline gapes, and how to stop it? Now that we know why it gapes, we should also know how to stop it. That is the problem. Then we now provide the solution of how to stop it. Now, how to draft multiple neckline style using a formula. There is a formula that solves it all. It's called the formula for solving all. So we are going to also be explaining this formula explaining in details how to solve the entire problem. There is a formula that we are going to be revealing. Please don't miss any section of this. I am holding with you, please. Then we are also going to be seeing the factors to consider when choosing neckline for yourself and for your face shape. There is necklines for individual body shapes. That is why maybe probably you see a particular style on someone, it looks so amazing, and then it's on another person, the same style, and it becomes like a challenge. That why is this particular style looking like this? So it becomes like a challenge. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, can you still hear me loud and clear? Yeah, perfect. I'm back. If there was a bridge in between, can you still hear me loud and clear, everyone? Okay, thank you. So we are going to be seeing while a certain shape, you will agree with me that we are different. God created individual with a variety. We have people with a broad shoulder, we have it with narrow shoulder, we have people with maybe like a square face, round face, oval, all those types of variations. We have different body shape, just like the pear, the apple, the hourglass, the rectangle, at all, just like that. So we are going to be revealing, sorry, there is a break. Neckline variations, and then the common mistakes to avoid when you are making your necklines. Mistakes to avoid when you're making your necklines. If you know your mistake, it is easy for you to still hear me loud and clear. So quick one before we draw into it, since we have successfully reviewed the course, the outline, what we are learning in this particular section today, in this live section today. So I want everyone to quickly tell me before we continue. I want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced neckline gaping before? Type yes in the chat if you have, and tell me the neckline that gives you the most trouble. That's what is that particular neckline that is a trouble for you? The neckline that is a trouble, you can just label it, this neckline. I try to run away for it because it is a trouble. Just type in the comment section yes if you have ever have issue with neckline. That is, if you have experienced neckline gaping before, and then if you have a particular neckline that is tagged as a trouble. That is, I say this neckline is a trouble. So I am looking out for that. Quickly put that in the comment section if you have experienced a neckline that actually gave you issue before. Put it in the neckline now. Put it in the chat box right now. Say yes. Type in the chat box yes if a particular neckline have given you issue before. Type in the chat box. Can you hear me, everyone? I'm not seeing comments. I need you to put it in your chat box if there is a particular neckline that has been a trouble. Type that particular neckline. If it is a queen hand, put a queen hand. If it is, put it there. If it's a tube, if it's strapless, put it there. Let me know the type of neckline that I've given you issue before. I'm waiting. If you have experienced gaping when you are making your neckline before, put yes in the chat box. And then if there is a particular neckline that is a trouble, put it in the chat box. Put that neckline in the chat box. I am looking out for that. Can you hear me? Are everyone still there? I've not been seeing our comments. So as you are typing that in your chat box, let's say 5 hours spent seeing a beautiful dress. That's a case study. The client put it on, and as soon as she leans forward to pick up maybe like a purse or something from the floor, are you with me? Boom, the neckline gapes. Okay, so you've made a beautiful dress and then you want to bend, which is not supposed to be, except if there is a particular style that you're doing that makes the neckline too. Some people are afraid of bending, even with your off shoulder. There's some off shoulder when you soft shoulder and you're afraid of bending. Okay, so but there's some necklines, maybe let's say your V neckline. Normally you make a V neckline for a client and the client's bend down and is afraid of bending down just because it's revealing. So what happens? So the neckline gives, the bra shows, the luxury look is gone. So it's just like, wow, what is going on here? I was careful when I was seeing this. So what actually happened to this neckline? So it becomes a challenge. And it's like, okay, what really happened? Then you're told, pitch it at the shoulder. So, so many adjustments. When you have a neckline issue, I said, take it at the shoulder, pinch it at the shoulder, put elastic. So when you use elastic to drag it, it fits. You've experienced that before, right? right? I've also experienced that before with a neckline. I actually had to take again at the shoulder, but something actually happened. Something actually caused that. Have you experienced that before? I've not been seeing a comment in the chat box. Put yes in the comment section. I want to hear from us. It is an interactive section, so I'm not doing it alone. We are doing it together. Your response will help me to know what I'm going to also be feeding you in this section for today. We are still have a long way to go. You see, those are baggages, they are not cures. When you begin to say, I'm pitching at the shoulder, I am adding elastic, because that was not the initial plan for that particular neckline. The neckline is V. And then when you make the V is now gaping. The V is not V. Right? The V is not looking right. So then you begin to improvise, just like that. No hard rules to fashion. You get it. So you begin to say, okay, let me bring in my creativity. No, that is not cure. That is actually managing the situation. And what we are actually doing here today, why we are here today, is not just to manage situation, is to get it right, to get the foundation right, is to perfect the foundation, so we will not keep managing situation. Even though there are situations that warrant us to manage situation, but it don't have to be every time. We should perfect our neckline, right? Okay, so today we are now going to be showing ourselves the Gape-Free formula. We are moving away from trial and error and moving into structured engineering. By the end of the section, you will know exactly how to draft neckline that on the chest, like a secondary scan. So now most neckline, they come from one thing. Most neckline problems, they come from one thing. Can somebody guess? Can someone guess? I have a gift for anyone that gets it right. Okay, my gift is going. So the question is, most neckline problems, they actually come from one thing. From one thing. From one thing. I want somebody to guess that particular thing. Whoever gets it right, get a section for me. Get a gift of the class for me. Anyone? Going? Okay, yeah. So I'm just going to be saying that. So what actually is the problem for most neckline? The main problem, measurements. That is it. Guessing your measurements. I've already, I made mention of this earlier about your you not getting your measurements right. Guessing measurements is the actual problem of this. Designers often focus on the style, but ignore the calculation behind the structure. Not just the style. When you see a particular design and when you want to make clothes for someone or for yourself, don't just focus on the style. Focus on all the details behind the style. So you begin with the foundation. You look into the neckline. You're not looking at it just like the glamour, maybe the applique, the shining and all that. This is taking you from just a common designer to you're upgrading to a professional designer that just see a style and then you focus. You just begin to interpret the style. So don't just focus on the style, but the calculation behind the structure. That is what you should do. Okay, and that is why necklines gives. Necklines lose balance. Necklines fall off the shoulder. Necklines falling off the shoulder when it's not actually an off shoulder, or when it's not actually an asymmetric, maybe asymmetric that you have a full your shoulder here and then the side of the shoulder is when it's actually different from that, then you should have a right shoulder sitting and a right neckline sitting. Today we are fixing that. So why do neckline gapes? Why do neckline gapes? Most of us were taught to divide the full circumference, bust circumference by. Yes, I also do mention this in my video. If you have been watching every of our video on how to draft our block, that is the basic block, the princess and all that, you know that I've been dividing my bust circumference by 12. Yes, it's a formula that has been working, but not every time. That is not the actual way to get to neckline circumference. And this is what we are explaining here today. Dividing your bust by 12. Now let's imagine a plus size. a plus size measurement, you can divide your bust circumference by 12 for a plus size, because obviously a plus size is going to be having a very full bust, like a full bust, and then you are using that to determine the neckline, maybe a tiny neckline. That is a problem. The neckline will gape irrespective of how you do it, because it is not actually the frame we should focus on. You can actually use the eye bust, which is the chest, across the chest, and divide instead of using the bust. That can still work. However, that particular one thing you should do to get it perfectly, to get it right, is what we are revealing today. Please, most of us are going on and off. I want us to try to make sure we are here, even if our neckline is network is breaking. Please, I don't want you to skip and miss any section. There is exercise for this session. I want to ensure that 2 hours invested in this section, it's great and it brings out great results. Okay, are you with me? All right, thank you. So bust circumference divided by 12 actually works, but not all the time, and it's not really like the standard way we should do our neckline division. All right, so we're going to be looking into that. The factor is it's one factor. Fabric is flat, bodies are 3D. When you cut a hole in a fabric, gravity pulls it down and out. When you lay a fabric on just a table, it's just flat. Human body is not flat. Human body is curved, different curve, bust, and everything. Then you cannot be comparing that to it. Then you begin to look into how do we get this. Now the volume trap too. The big bust doesn't always mean a big neck. Hello, do you hear that? A big bust doesn't always mean a big neck. Have you seen plus size? Have you seen a big bust before? Some people that have a very big bust, and then you look at the neck, it is very tiny. So you're now using that bust to get your neckline. Wow, just wow. You can imagine what will happen at the end of the day when you put the kind of neckline you want to put. It is just wow. All right, it won't work. It won't align. Big bust doesn't equate a big neck. Do you get that? If you draft a neck based on bust volume, you are making a hole that is too wide for the frame. Amazing. Is that not impressive? So you just focus on the bust, and I'm making a beautiful garment, and my client is a plus size, or probably my measurement is plus size. Oh wow, what a beautiful outfit I'm making. And then you just focus on the bust. Boom. That is the foundation. That is just where the fault is coming from. That's not where you should focus on, because big bust. So if you don't remember anything you're taking from this section today, take it here today that big bust doesn't equate a big neck. Big bust doesn't equate a big neck. You must do your calculation right. Right? Perfect. So now another type of this is the contour gap. Standard patterns assume the chest is a flat board. It's not. It's a curve, and curve needs tension. All right. So make sure you stay to the end. The calculation section and corrections will change how you draft neckline forever. We are just going into it right now. Let us move now into the first module. So we are going to the first module of this session, understanding the neckline architecture. So we are to first understand how the neckline works, what happened to the neckline, why necklines move in the direction, why this particular one can work for this neckline, why it is not sitting with this neckline, all the why, including for your kiddies, we are going to be explaining here. Before we start drafting or calculating, we need to understand this. Every neckline is a structure. It is not just a shape you draw. It is a balance of measurements on the body. Every neckline, it's a balance of the measurements of the body. Just like I said, if the neckline is messed up, everything is messed up. If the neckline is messed up, everything is messed up, except you are now doing managing, just like I explained earlier. then you begin to bring in your creativity of management. But that was not your intention right from the beginning. Just like you're adding elastic, you are pitching the shoulder, you are doing, then you change the techniques of design. But that was not initially what you actually wanted to do. Okay, neckline architecture simply means, let us quickly define that, how the neckline sits on the body based on structure. It is controlled by three key elements. Now look at the three key elements that control the neckline. Three key elements control the neckline. Three key elements control the neckline. The first is the neckline width. Neckline width. That is the wideness, right? The wideness of the neckline, the wideness, neckline width. That is the one you take on your on the neckline like this. It is towards like this. This is the width, right? Neckline width. Then we also have the neckline depth. Neckline depth. So that is the how deep your neckline is from the main point of the neckline, how deep your neckline is. Then we also have the shoulder line. So those are the three key elements. The three key elements are what? The neckline width, the neckline depth, and then the shoulder line. If one of these is wrong, your neckline will not sit properly. Quickly in the comment section, somebody type three key elements for me. Three key elements of the neckline are what? The neckline width, the neckline depth, and then the shoulder line. If any of these, three of these, they work hand in hand together. Three of these, they are together. If one of it is messed up, then it's going to affect that. If your neckline depth is not right, it affects the neckline width. If the neckline width is not right, it affects the shoulder line. And it affects the sitting of the shoulder, and then you eventually join your shoulder together, and then your shoulder is like this. You eventually want to take your armhole, and then it's pulling you. You are trying to pull your fabric, and then it's also pulling you. So many things may just go wrong. So many things may just happen with this. So three key elements of the neckline that affect the neckline. It is the neckline width, the neckline depth, and then the shoulder line. They are the three key elements, which are very, very important, crucial. You can't just do without them. They work hand in hand together. Right, great. So now let us quickly look at the quick definition of this before we now move into the calculation. I hope you are still here with me. Perfect. Now the neckline width, it controls how wide the neckline spreads across the shoulder. It controls how wide the neckline spreads across the shoulder. What I'm wearing there is a waterfall jacket. Now my waterfall is pulling the weight of this, but I have actually take all the conditions needed to take to pull this. So this neckline width controls how wide. So if it is you want your neckline to start from here, then that is you're talking of the neckline width. How wide it goes across the shoulder. The neckline width is if it's too wide, the neckline will fall off the shoulder. Imagine you actually want to have a scoop neckline, and then you eventually then it turns to off shoulder, right? They say, oh wow, off shoulder is nice, off shoulder is amazing, but that wasn't the plan. Your clients didn't even tell you make off shoulder for me. Say put like a scoop neckline. Scoop neckline is like a U, and then you eventually having a shoulder falling. It turns to like a mini off shoulder. Right? Okay, so that was not the original plan. So if it is too tight, the neckline will choke or pull. If it is too choke or pull, you can imagine the neckline to choke or begin to pull. You get it. Then the neckline depth, it controls how low neckline drops. How low your neckline drops. If it is too deep, it causes gaping. If your neckline is too deep, it causes gaping. And this is where I am going to be giving you trick on how to contour your neckline, especially if you are working with a deep neck, like a deep V, like a punch V neckline. Like people that like a very deep neckline that reveals how to contour. You want a deep V, when you do not do all the necessary contour there, it is going to gape. So we are going to be saying that if it is too shallow, it restricts comfort and design. So if so, just say, let's say I want to have a V, and then your V is coming to like your neck is trying to move. You get it? Now we talk about the shoulder line. Many people ignore this, but it is very important because it controls the support of the neckline. Yes, it is the shoulder line that controls the support of the neckline. That's why I said three of them, they work hand in hand together. I hope I am not too fast. Everyone, are you still there? Can you hear me? Can you still hear me loud and clear? Are you still following? Am I not too fast? Are you getting what we are teaching? So just put it in the chat box if you are actually getting this. Am I too fast? Okay. It controls the support of the neckline. If your shoulder is wrong, the neckline will not sit flat. Your shoulder is wrong, your neckline may shift or it collapse. Necklines do not fail because of style. They fail because of poor structure. That is why your neckline fails. Neckline gapes because the neckline is too wide for the body. The neckline depth is not balanced with bust level. The shoulder does not support the neckline. So those are the reason why neckline gapes. So sometimes when you begin to ask, why do my neckline gapes? What actually happened? I took careful. I am very was careful when I was drafting this and when I was doing this. But eventually, I am having gape around my neckline. What happened? What are the challenge here? So I'm quickly reading this for you. So part of the challenges is that probably your neckline is too wide for the body. According to the body measurement, the body proportions, the body size, it may be too wide for that particular body. And then your neckline depth is not balanced with bust control. So this is the part I was talking about, the frame, where to focus on when you're doing your division and all that. Then you just say, okay, circumference divided by 12. Oh, wow. Amazing. Impressive. It doesn't work for all sizes. It's going to show. It may work for some and it may not work for some. The shoulder does not support the neckline. The shoulder, it does not support the neckline. So instead of sitting flat, the neckline stands to open away from the body. Another thing we ignore as designer is the bust affects the neckline. If not properly calculated, the neckline will pull and gape. The fuller the bust, the more tension on the neckline. When a bust is full, it puts tension on the neckline. The fuller the bust, the more tension on the neckline. I'm telling you this again. The fuller the bust, the more tension on the neckline. The fuller the bust, that is why, I don't know if you have noticed, most time when you're making outfits or a dress, when you make for just somebody that is not really, that doesn't really have a full bust, maybe like a small bust, you don't really have challenge. Unlike when you're now making for a plus size or with a full bust. Have you ever experienced that? You know, even when you make the mistake, it's not really showing on a small measurement. But when you make a fuller size, a full bust, just like somebody like me too, I'm of a medium, I'm using like 36. You're making for a 40, 45, then the mistakes begin to show. It's because the bust is full. It begins to put tension on the neck. And then you begin to see the challenge there. That is why making outfits for actually full bust, it takes putting in extra consideration. You have to be detailed, and then precision also matters here. Do you get it? Right. So now we proceed. This is why high bust is recommended as true frame. That is for a fuller bust. So when you're working for a fuller bust, that is a tip for you for this class today. You're working for a fuller bust, you're working for a plus size. The frame should focus on the high bust, not the bust line. And not the full bust, especially for plus size, because your neckline sits on the high bust, not the full bust. Which one do you think causes the most problems? So now a question for you. Which one do you think causes the most problems? I want to ask you a question, quick one, really quick one. It's in the chat box. Which one do you think causes the most problem out of these three key elements we explained? The neckline, the neck width, the neck depth, or the shoulder line? Which one have you ever experienced problem with? Which one do you think causes problems for gaping or for your neckline not sitting? Is it the neck width? Is it your neck depth? That is how deep you measure your neckline, or is it the shoulder line? Okay, I'm waiting for your answers. Anyone in the chat box, which one do you think actually cause problem out of all these things we have explained? Okay, so once you understand these three, you stop guessing, you start calculating, you gain control over your designs. If this is already making sense to you, everyone type clear in the chat box. All right, so now we are going to be proceeding into the calculation. Are you ready? Give me a second. If you understand the architecture of the neckline that we just explained, quickly put in the chat box clear. I need to see, even if it's a one comment or two comments, I want to see put clear in the chat box. From anyone? Clear? Okay, perfect. So now that you understand the structure, let's move to the next step. So we are getting into the class detail now. We are moving into the real detail of the class. Let's move to the next step. The exact measurements you need to start drafting correctly. The exact measurements that is needed for you to start drafting correctly. The exact measurements you need to start drafting correctly. The exact measurements needed for you to start drafting correctly. That's what we are going into. So now let us move into this. What measurements? So now, first of all, let us now ask ourselves. Now that we understand the architecture, so now we are now going to be asking, what is the measurements I actually need to calculate correctly? Because without right measurements, even the design, even the best design will fail. Most neckline problems, they come from this, using incomplete measurements. You take your bust, you take your waist. Just like when you want to make an outfit, you want to make a dress, what are the measurements, your basic measurements you take? You take your bust circumference, you take your waist circumference, you take your hip circumference, you take every other measurement, your shoulder to your bust, your shoulder to your waist, your shoulder to your hip. But what you are actually ignoring is that you ignore the key measurement, which is the neckline. Most times don't take the neckline. We ignore the key measurements, the control of the neckline. Now we're going to quickly look into the 5 key measurements. Number 1, it is the neck circumference. The first one is the neck. I hope you're writing. I'm sure we are writing. So the key measurements when you want to make a perfect neckline, it is the neck circumference. This is the foundation. It is measured around the base of the neck. It is the foundation. Now, everyone, we are going to be taking measurements now. I want you to bring out your tape measure. Okay, bring out your tape measurements out now. So we want to measure. I don't know how you have been taking your neckline measurements before, but we are actually going to be taking the measurements now, the right way to make your neckline measurements. So when you check your neckline, everyone, can you see me very well? Let me adjust this camera a little bit. Okay, can you see me very well? Is everyone seeing me very well? All right, so this is your neck, right? This is my neck. So when you want to take a neck measurement, so on your neck, you're going to notice you're going to be noticing some bone here. So you should check that right now. We are going to be doing a finger test now. You're getting bone on your neck. Okay, so the true neckline base is the hollow of the neck pit for front. Look at the hollow of the neck pit. It's like a sitting pot. It's like sitting here. You notice there is something like a round sitting here like this. This is like the hollow. Do you notice? Do you notice the pit here, everyone? Okay. This is snug against the skin. You see? So this hollow here now, this is what we are going to be taking the measurement. Now you check your back. On your back, there is a back nape. There is a bone. You notice a bone on the back. I'm not saying you should take the measurements to the eye of the neck. No. Your measurement is to be taken at the nape of the back. That is for your back. Excuse me. Give me a second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. So are you following? Look at the nape of the back of the neck at the back. Your back, the nape. The nape is like a bone. You're just going to be feeling that bone at around the base of the neck at the back. I'm not saying you should press under your head. No. You notice the nape? Do you see like the nape on the back? Yes. So that is where you're going to be taking the measurement to, and then you'll be taking the measurement across. That's where you're going to be taking the measurements, and then you'll be taking it across. So now bring out your tape measure. So your tape measure now, you're going to be taking it, place it towards the back nape. Place it towards the back nape. The nape. Right. So from the nape there, okay, so you bring it towards the front. You see where I put it? From the back nape. I didn't push the tape measure up. From the back nape, you bring it close. So you bring it towards the hollow of the neckline. The hollow of the neckline here. Then you bring it like this. So once you have it across towards the hollow, you're going to be snugging one finger inside your tape measure. Let that be a finger inside. So you notice there is a finger inside. Okay. So just take your time here. I need you to get out to take your measurements right. So there should be a finger inside. Snug a finger inside. Snug a finger inside. So that should be a finger inside this. So once you have a finger inside this, so now check what you have on your tape measure with your finger, just one finger. I'm not saying you should put like 3 fingers, no. Okay, so you're just putting just a finger. So once you have it, so here I have 15 inches. Everyone, what do you have? What do you have after making this measurement? Put it in the chart box. Put it in the chart box. What do you have? You take the measurements from the nape, the back of the neckline, towards the front, which is the hollow of the neck. Doing that, whatever you have, make sure you snug a finger inside the tape measure before you get your measurements. So everyone, what do you have there? Okay, I am still waiting. What do we have? All right. So whatever you have there is what you are using. Now, anytime you want to take your neckline measurement, the posture matter. You tell the person to stand straight. You want to take the measurement. Tell him to stand straight and look forward, not looking down. Not looking like this, because this is not like this. So when you want to make a measurement, that is the neck measurement, stand straight and look forward, not looking up. When you look up like this, it changes the measurement. When you look down, it also changes the measurement control. When you look sideways, it's changed the measurement control. It is looking forward like this, standing straight and then looking forward. So that is how you are to take the measurements. Okay, right. So now after doing this, now for the posture, we are still talking about the posture. Then the placement, base of the neck, nape to hollow. That is what we just did now. That's the example we just cite. Then the tension, snug, fit one finger behind your tape measure when you're taking this measurement. Fit one finger behind it when you're taking the measurement. Fit one finger behind it. So I hope every one of us have done the classroom exercise. That is our first classroom exercise today, because whatever measurement you have right now is what you're going to be using to calculate. The first classroom exercise for today is place your index finger in the hollow of your neck and the back tape. Measure round. Measure round as you fit one finger to half neckline circumference, and then drop in the comment section. I'm not seeing our neckline circumference. I want us to drop the neckline circumference. I want to hear from us. If you are here with me and you can hear me loud and clear, and you have been following this section, put in the chat box your neckline circumference. I want to hear from you. Faustine, are you still there? Faustine, are you still there? I've seen Kay today. Who else have I seen here today? Faustine, Kay, who else have been here today again? I want to see our neckline circumference. Put it in the chat box. Your neckline circumference. Okay. Do we have it right? All right, let's move on. Now, the next measurement we are now going to be moving into, since we've gotten our neckline circumference measurement right. We've gotten our neckline circumference right? Perfect. So since we have our neckline circumference measurement, we want to move into the neck width, which is the second measurement, and this is where the calculation is also going to be taking place. We are going to be calculating now. Everyone, we are calculating now. Bring out your calculator, bring out your pencil, your writing material, and let us quickly calculate. We are going to be doing calculation now. Neck width. This is not measured directly, it is calculated. So now let us calculate the true neck radius. So now we want to calculate the true neck radius. The math of 6.28 as discussed earlier. Now we are moving away from divide by 12, and then we are using the circle constant. Now everyone, do you remember your circle constant? That is when you're working with peplon. How do you usually calculate your peplon? When you want to make like a flare, you know your circle constant formula. Do you remember your circle constant formula? We had a section on this December last year when we explained to measure your flare, how to calculate fullness, and how to cut for sizes. Now we are going to be using circle constant to get our neck circumference, which is the right way to know your neck circumference measurement, to know your measurements, the right measurements to use when you're dealing with neckline for all sizes, including children. For all sizes, honestly, including children. Now, for circle constant, it equals to radius over your circumference over 2 pi, which is 6.28. Now put it down now. Radius, it is the radius we want to look for. That is for the neckline. We are looking for the radius now. So everyone write down now. Radius equals to neck circumference over divided by 6.28. Copied? Again, radius equals to neck circumference divided by 6.28. Provided that 6.28 is equals to 2 pi. 6.28 is equivalent to 2 pi. 6.28 is equivalent to 2 pi. So now your radius is equals to neck circumference divided by 6.28. Have you put that down? Thanks so much. So now let us quickly do the calculation of our neckline. Now, since you have your neck circumference measurement, which is your actual neck circumference is what? Whatever you have there now, divide by 6.28. That is how to know the radius of your neckline. It works for everybody. Plus size, small size, high size, low size. Okay, it works for all measurements. It works for all sizes. right? So everyone, now let us do the division now. So we are going to be going into the division. Okay, so now for you to have the radius now, I want everyone now to quickly divide their neck circumference by 6.28. So for me, my neck circumference, when we measure our neck circumference earlier, is 15 inches. If you are working with centimeter, it is 38 centimeter. Mine is 15 inches, so I divide 15 inches by 6.28. That puts me at having my neck circumference radius. And that is the radius I'm going to be using for my necklines, irrespective of the neckline types I'm working with. All the neckline types variation, it is this radius that is going to be guiding me in using it. Do you get it? The radius is like the foundation that I'm going to be working on to modify into all types of neckline variations I will want to work with for all sizes. Are you following? Do you have your measurement now? Your neck circumference divided by 6.28. Everyone, divide it now. Whatever you have, let me know. Are you there? So now for me, it is 15 inches divided by 6.28. Or if you're working with a centimeter, it is 38 centimeter divided by 6.28. That is the circle constant formula. So for my answer, now I have 2.38. So if I am working with centimeter, it is 6.05 centimeter. Do you have your measurement now? Do you have your division now? Are we participating? Please do, because it's going to help you. This will help you to tackle all your neckline problems. For everyone, you won't have to be scared of doing measurements for everyone. Again, after this, before we now proceed into telling you the template of the measurement to work with for each one. Now, if you have this right now, I want you to go ahead and put down your answer now. Divide your neck circumference by 6.28. That is a circle constant formula. So when you have your answer, then now I want you to add. So you're going to be adding ease allowance. Ease allowance after your division. So for your ease allowance, if you are working with a centimeter measurement, add 1 cm. If you measured in centimeter, add 1 cm to your answer. That is the answer gotten from your neck circumference divided by 6.28. Add 1 cm to it if you are working with centimeter. But if you're working with inches, add a 0.5 inch. A 0.5 inch. Add it to your answer. That is for the ease allowance. Add it to your answer. Okay, so now my hair, after added to it, for my neck circumference now, for inches, it is 2.88. 2.88. That is what I have as the answer for this. 2.88. Or if it is centimeter, it is 7.05. Now you have to stick to one kind of measurement you are to be using if you want to work. If it is inches, work with inches. If it is centimeter, work with centimeter. On your tape measure, we have the centimeter and we have the inches. If you know you are always good with centimeters, stick to it. Don't be changing from centimeter to inches. Don't do that. It's very wrong. You will get confused along the way. Yes. So just stick to one type of measurement you are using. So for me, I use inches. So I'm just explaining with centimeter in case, because this is a versatile class. We have people that work with centimeter and we have those that work with inches. So what do you have? Do you have your answer now? So after the calculation that we did earlier, that is the neck circumference. The measurement of the neck circumference divided by 6.28 to have our radius, the neck radius. Add the ease allowance. Now, ease allowance for your neckline is, for a cm, it is 1 cm. If you are using cm, use 1 cm. If you are using inches, use a 0.5 inch for this. So now, for me now, I have 2.88 inches. That is my neck radius. That is my neck radius. So anytime I want to draft my neckline now, I'm just going to be drafting with 2 points. Like once I draw, once you have your shoulder line, you want to put your neckline. So I'll just put 2.88. Okay, then 2.88. 2.88 by 2.88. Just like the way we've been drafting, I've been doing 3 by 3. Right, so I'm explaining to you from class now with the formula 2.88 by 2.88. So this gives me the base neckline, which is also known as the jewel neckline. You know, the base neckline is the same thing as your jewel neckline, right? So are you seeing this? This is my jewel neckline. It's also the one we call the round neckline. So do you see this? So this is my jewel neckline. 2.88 divided by 2.88 by 2.88. So that is, you have your paper on the shoulder here. It is 2.88 measure. For the depth, it is 2.88. That is how to have your perfect neckline radius. Do we understand? Is this clear? I want to know in the comment section. I need somebody to type in the comment section. Let me know if we are actually following. If you actually understand this step that we just calculated, I need you to drop it in the comment section. Say clear. Somebody should put clear in the comment section. I need to hear from us. Somebody should put clear in the comment section. I need to know if we are actually getting this. Clear. From anyone? Do we understand this? Do we have a question so far before we proceed? 45 minutes gone already, and it is well spent. We are just 1 hour 15 minutes and we need to cover all. Anyone clear? Right? Okay. Understand? All right. So now we are now just going to be proceeding. So now we now have the radius. So that is how to calculate your radius, your neckline radius. So that is the perfect neckline. So anytime you are making your basic block, so you should do that. So calculate with your circle constant formula and add the ease allowance. And make sure you first of all measure a perfect neck circumference, just like I explained earlier. Then do that. After doing that, then you have your perfect neckline radius. So when you have this perfect neckline radius now, it is now easier to navigate around to work with. Then this is the base neckline measurements that we're now going to be working with for all the neckline variations, the queen hand, the sweetheart, the bolt, the scope, anything we want to do. This is from where we're going to be doing it now. Okay, perfect. So now let us now talk about so we're now moving into the third measurement, which is the neck depth. And then the neck depth is a vertical drop of neckline. This depends on design style. So this is where our precisioner comes in. So this particular one for the neck depth now depends on the neck, on the design style. It depends on your bust level and it depends on comfort as well. Don't just pick a number. Always relate it to the body. You're not just to pick a number and just, okay, I want a deep, okay, for my neck, I want it very deep. I'm just going to put in 8 inches. I'm just going to put in 24 cm for the neck depth. No, you don't just do that. You have to consider your body before you put a neck depth, because it's actually very, very important. It is key. All right. So when you are moving from a basic neck to a scalp neck, you can use the standard offset from your true neckline. So now quickly, I want you to, are you still writing? Perfect. So now you know you already have your true neckline radius, which is the radius we use for the base, like the base neckline, like the jewel neckline, like the round neckline, just like we do normally call it. So say round neckline. Round neckline is also known as the jewel neckline. It's like the base neckline. It is the radius, the one we explained, 2.88 by 2.88 inches. So now, if you want to work, so now I am calling out the templates of how to work with. This is for all sizes and this is how you can work with. So I am calling this out. These are what we collect money for in classes, but we are bringing it on the lesson. So please don't jeopardize this. Make sure you are putting it down. This is going to be working for your variations of neckline to everyone you're making garments for. Do we get it? Amazing. So first, let us talk about the scope. The classic scoop neckline. Do you know your scoop neckline? Let me show you the draft. So this is your scoop. Your scoop is like a U. It's like a U neckline. let's say like the round neckline but deeper. Do you see the scoop? Let me open it up. So this is a scoop neckline. It is different from the basic round drill neckline. You see this? So this is the scoop neckline. So now, how do I now know the measurement to use for my scoop neckline? Since I already know the radius measurements, I know for my round neckline. So that is what we are now going to. Now let me tell you. So for you to know your scoop neckline, so for your width adjustment, that is your shoulder. Okay. So you're going to be adding your radius. It is the main one you've gotten from the measurement. Radius plus is 0.75 inches. Written? Your radius plus is 0.75 inches. But if you are working with a centimeter, you now say 2 centimeter. So let's say your radius is 2.25 inches. Your radius, assuming your radius is 2.25 inches, that is your radius we calculated earlier for the neckline base. Then 2.25 inches plus 0.75 will give you 3 inches. Or let's say your radius is 3.0 inches. So you're just going to be adding 0.75 inches to it. That is on the wideness of the neckline. Then you put it there. You put it on the neckline wideness. Right. So now after putting it there, then for the depth, that is for the scoop neckline. So for the depth is how deep the neckline is. The depth, you are going to be adding 2 inches to your radius. That is the radius you've gotten earlier from the circle constant we calculated. 2 inches to your radius. But if you are working with a cm, it is 5 cm. So that's where you make your scoop to come down. You know, scoop comes down than excuse me. Okay. Sorry. All right. Sorry. So scoop comes down than the round neckline. Do you copy? So scoops come down than the round neckline. So you add radius plus 2 inches. We are working with inches. But if you are working with cm, radius plus 5 cm. Perfect. Now let us move into the boat neckline. That is, we just talk about the scoop neckline. So we are now going to be talking about the boat neckline. Do you know your boat neckline? Okay, so let me bring it out. Let me make this stand very well so that all right. Okay. I think it's the stand. Perfect. Are you still with me? So now let me bring out the boat neckline. So this is the boat. The boat neckline is always wide at the shoulder, but the depth is not deep. Boat neckline has like a wide shoulder, but the depth is not deep. This is a boat neckline. Do you see? Can you see this very well? Okay, impressive. So now if we are now talking about the boat neckline, so if you want to make a boat neckline, so you're going to be adding 5 centimeters to your radius. That is for the width. For the width adjustment, the shoulder. So your radius is now going to be plus 5 cm. If you are working with inches, you have 2 inches to your radius. So let's say your radius initially, you have 3 inches. Okay, for my own radius now, it is 2.88 when I calculated it. So 2.88 plus 2 inches will give me 4.88. So I'm going to be marking 4.88 around the shoulder line for my neckline. Do you get it? Then for the depth, I will be using the depth. I will be adding. I will be removing. I'm not adding because it comes up. So I'll just be removing, like both neckline comes up a little bit, or you can just use the same radius. your radius that you have, just use it and just extend the wideness. Both doesn't come low, it goes high. Okay, you can add like 0.5 inches, we are working with inches, or you can add 1 centimeter because it is very shallow. That is, we are talking about both neckline. Both neckline as is very shallow. It's like it's key, it's very close to the neckline, and then it's wide on the shoulder. So it is why we are adding 2 inches to the radius on the chest line, on the shoulder line, or 2.5 or 2 or 5 cm. All right. So now let us talk about the sweetheart neckline. I'll be a neckline, right? You see the sweethearts? You are still drafting all this, okay? So you're still going to be making all these drafts. There is a practical section for this section, 2 for the drafts. But we need to understand the calculation and everything effectively before we do the practical section. So this is the sweetheart neckline. Do you see my sweetheart? Can you see this very well? Okay. Perfect. So for your sweetheart neckline, just sweetheart neckline, you have to add on your for your radius. So for your width, just add between 1 cm to between 1 cm to 2 cm if you're working with a centimeter. So let's say if you're working with inches, you can do between the range of 0.5 inches to 0.75 inches. Is 0.5 inches to 0.75 inches. If your neckline radius is, let's assume it is 2.5 inches initially when you calculated it. So you can just add 0.5 or 0.75, then you have 3.25 to use, you mark on the shoulder line. Now for the depth, you can use the chest line, depending on how deep you want the sweater to be, or you can just measure maybe like 1 or 1.5 inch above the chest line. But most times, the sweater's neckline gets to around the chest line. Okay, especially if you want a very deep sweater's neckline, you can now do the bust. But if you want a modest sweater's neckline that's not revealing, modest, very modest, that doesn't reveal, you can use the chest line, or you can just measure like 1 inch above the chest line. If you are using centimeter, then you do 2.25 cm above the chest line. Do you get that? So quick one, let us now move into the V neck. So we are proceeding and we are progressing. So we are going to be moving to the V neck. Now V neck vary. We have the V neckline, and we also have the punchy V. That is the deep V, the one we use like they want to do a illusion design. Yeah, we also have the deep V. I think the deep V some people use around the under bust line. That's a very deep V, and that's a particular V neckline. You have to really take your time in doing the contour of the neckline, which we are also going to be going into how to eliminate neckline gaping. So if you are still here watching now, don't go away, please. Honestly, this section took so much time for me to put so much together so that everything will be explained in detail and you don't have to have issue with neckline again, and you also get value for your time and data. V neckline, then we have a deep V. Deep V, most times people do the bust line, like the under bust line. Some go as far as the waistline. That's the punchy, the deep V. So for your V neckline now, you also need to know the actual measurement. So this is how your V is looking like. You're not just marking anything. You're not just marking any number. You're making a right measurement, putting right numbers so that it doesn't move away from your actual measurements. So for this V neckline now, let us quickly see how to modify from our basic radius into the measurements we actually needed to get the V neckline. So for your V now, you are to add, keep it snug at the shoulder, so you can just maintain the radius. because it is V. When you have one of the rule of the neckline is when it is deep, it shouldn't be wide on the shoulder. When you're making a deep neckline, make sure it's not wide on the shoulder, because when it is deep and it's wide on the shoulder, so what is going to be holding it? Okay, but when it is shallow, it is wider on the shoulder. When it is deep, it's not on the shoulder. When it is shallow, like you don't have a very, then it is wider, just like the boat. You notice that when you're doing the boat now, we add some measurement to our radius on the shoulder line, and then it makes it to be wider on the shoulder line, but it is shallow with the depth, neck depth, right? So all these things we put into consideration. Okay, so please don't forget all this. Very, very important. So now let us quickly talk about what you have to add. So now maintain the radius measurement for the on the chest line. Whatever radius you have for your radius measurement that is gotten from the circle constant, still use it for your V. That is on the shoulder line. If it is let's say mine is 2.88 inches, I'll still mark my 2.88 inches on my shoulder line. Then if it's yours, it's maybe 3 inches, still mark your 3 inches on your shoulder line. Do you get it? Yes. So now on your depth adjustment, your depth adjustment usually depends on your choice. V doesn't really have a constant, just like I said, but it is usually between 12 centimeter to 18 centimeter. That is like 5 inches to 7 inches. So you have like let's say you have like 3 inches before for your radius, for your neck radius, for the depth. Then you can go ahead and add 5 inches to it, making 7, or you have 7 inches, making 9. So depending on how deep you want the V neckline to be. Okay, so now let's quickly go into the square. So we are now proceeding to the square. So for the square also, we have variations of square. We have the square and we also have the wide square. So let me show you the square. It depends on what you want to actually achieve. So this is a square neckline. Look at the square neckline. Right. This is another beautiful neckline that people don't really do most times, but it's nice. This is square neckline. Okay, so and then we also have the wide square. So this is a wide square. You see, it is wider. There is a reduction at the shoulder line and it is deeper than the first one. When I place it on each other, so see the difference? Okay, you see? Look at the wide square and look at the other square. It depends on the style you're styling. So we have a wide square and we have the other square, the main square. So quickly, let me tell you how to modify your radius measurements into square. So to modify your square, for your square measurements, you can add 0.75 to your radius constant, the radius measurements you have, that is for your base general neckline, your radius 0.75 or 2 cm. That's for the neckline, for the square neckline, not the wide one, the main square. So now on the wide one, then you can add maybe like a 1 inch to it to make it wider. Right. Then on the for the width, that is on the shoulder line. On the shoulder line, just add 0.75 to the measurements. Okay, for the width. So you're going to be adding 0.75 to it, then you reduce it. So let's say my neckline is 3 inches, okay, 2.88. So 2.88 plus is 0.75. That's what I'm going to be marking on my shoulder line for this square, because there is a reduction around the shoulder line. Okay, then for the depth adjustment, your depth, I hope you're writing. All right, thank you. So for your depth, you can do 10 centimeter to 12 centimeter, 4 inches to 5 inches, depends on the kind of wide square you want. But make sure it shows the wide shape. It shows the square shape. Okay, so now let's talk about the queen hand neckline. So for the queen hand, there is going to be a reduction. So you are not going to be adding. the Queen Hannah, your shoulder, the neckline you're going to be marking on your shoulder line is not going to be wide. It comes close because it is deep, and because of the heart shape and the scoop and everything you're putting for the shape of the Queen Hannah, it comes snug. It comes snug to the neckline. In fact, it goes some people design it as far as adding like a high neck at the back a little bit. So it's snug to the neckline. So that's why you're going to be reducing. You get it? For Queen Anne neckline, the standard Queen Anne neckline, you are to reduce your neckline radius. Okay, you are to reduce it by 0.5 centimeter or 0.25 inches because it is high at the back. That's how Queen Anne is, except it is different. Maybe like a difference from the design of the standard Queen Anne, from the main Queen Anne design. So you have to add. So let's say on your neckline radius now that you've calculated earlier, let's say you have about maybe 7 centimeter. So you just need to be adding 0.5. You're going to be reducing 0.5 inches. Then you're going to be marking it there. Okay. So, and then for the deep, so this one depends on the depth you want for your neckline. Okay, so depending on the depth you want, so deep scoop or sweetheart at the front. So this actually depends. So let me show you the Queen Hannah. So it's a type of neckline choice that is a beautiful one. So do you see? You see that it is wide there, it is wide here. So then here it's not going to be too wide. It comes snug. So if you're not drafting the back is not goes like we are having like a high neck at the back. It is kind of high, a little bit at the back. Amazing, right? I hope you're following through. Okay. So now we're going to be going into the I think we are done with that. Okay, so we are done with the adding of the measurements. So you know where to add measurements, when to reduce measurements, how to modify this into your variation. So we have covered that. Now a quick one for you. What I want you to do now is now to calculate your scoop, your bolt, your sweetheart, your V, your square width with your neckline radius. Can you quickly do that? Have you been doing that with what the templates have been given to you? Now I've been calling out all these templates, right? So just quickly run through it with your radius. So you say, okay, I want to do a scoop neckline. So quickly go ahead now, add the measurements I put for you. Okay, next time I want to draft my scoop, I know that on my shoulder line, I am to mark this number. And then for the depth, I am to mark this number. These are going to be giving me a perfect scoop neckline. So if it is my sweetheart, I am to add these are the shoulder line, and then I am to add this for the depth. This will also give me a perfect sweetheart neckline. Then my V, I know what to add, I know where to remove, right? If this is really making sense, kindly put in the comment section, Claire, let's know that we have actually clocked this. Okay, everyone, I will clock this section. Put in the comment section that clock it. Let us see if we actually getting this right. All right, so now we are going to be proceeding. We are proceeding very fast with this section. So we have covered the first module and we have covered the second module. Don't go away. We are going to the important aspect, which is the gaping. How to eliminate gaping, because all this, even having all these perfect measurements drafted, you are still going to experience gape, except you do all this stuff we are going to be explaining now. You may still experience gape, especially with styles like Queen Hannah, like the sweetheart, even like the V. When you imagine a V for a plus size, and it is deep V, it's going to still gape. So I'm going to be telling you what to do and what not to do. So stay tuned. So quickly in the comment section, let me know if you are actually getting all these details. Is this making sense to you? We spent 1 hour. Impressive. If this 1 hour has really been amazing to you, give this video a thumbs up. If you have not given the video a thumbs up before, give it a thumbs up or put it in the chat box. Put a thumbs up in the chat box. Let's see how far we are progressing. Okay. So now let's move on to the next. Right. So now let's quickly talk about tips in measuring neck depth for yourself or the client. It is very important. Excuse me, please. Okay, thank you. I'm seeing your thumbs up. Thank you. So now we are going to be quickly talking about the tips in actually measuring a neck depth for yourself or clients. It is very, very important. This aspect is important. So don't let the client dictate the depths with their hands in the hair. So you're not going to be telling you, okay, this is it, this is it. When a client points to where they want a neckline, so there are some clients that they will tell you exactly where they want the neckline to be. Okay, so when they are pointing where they want it to be, a neckline while standing, don't let it be like their hands are in the up. Maybe they raise a hand, you want to get a neckline depth, and somebody is raising a hand and is doing like this for you. Yeah. Don't do that. Okay, it is very wrong because the body is not balanced that way. No, it's not balanced. The person must not be raising hand, not be pointing the hair, or it's not like it's dancing or it's jumping. Okay, so you're not no, don't do that. So what you have to tell them is that because when they raise their hand and they are pointing, when you raise your hand and you're pointing here, by the time you drop your hand, it's a different measurement entirely. Raising hand, you're pointing here. When you drop, it's a different measurement entirely because of the body proportion, the body movements. You get it, right? So you tell the person, put your hand by your side. Okay, so when you want to measure the depth of the neckline of your client's neckline, and don't not sitting down, let the person stand upright and ask the person, is this place okay for your neckline? They say yes. Is this place okay for the neckline? They say yes. If this place okay for the neckline, that's okay. Yes, I'm perfectly okay there. But don't take it while the person is sitting. Don't take it while the person is raising hand. Don't take it while the person is hailing you, dancing. Let the person put the arm by the side. Let the body relaxes because the measurements you are going to be getting from a client's raising hand is quite different from what you're going to be getting when such person puts their hand down. These are the simple things we don't put into consideration and eventually affects our measurements and mess it up. You don't want to mess this up, right? Okay, perfect. So let them put their hands, relax their hands on their side. Just be pointing your tape measure. When they are comfortable, they will tell you, are you okay with the neck depth here? Say, okay. No, it's okay. Okay, you just push for that. Is it okay here? Okay. Is it okay here? Okay. Then if probably just say, okay, can you just point it on my body? You just point it, then you look at it on their body. Probably you mark a tape or something there, but don't let them point while they are like this. So even if they point when you are like this, maybe you want them to identify the point there, tell the person to put down the arm again, and then you measure again so that you are sure you have the exact place your clients want the measurement to be. Remember, happy customer is happy you too. Okay. All right, perfect. So now shoulder width. This is from neck point to shoulder tip. It controls your neckline support. If your shoulder measurement is off, the neckline will shift. Your shoulder measurement should not be off. How do you measure your shoulder measurement? Let me quickly tell you again. Your shoulder measurement is from one shoulder bone to another. When you raise your arm, you're going to be noticing a joint here. So especially when you are taking measurements for like somebody that is very fleshy, someone that have flesh on the body, don't be deceived by their flesh. There are some people that they have flesh, they are very fleshy here, maybe like a plus size measurement, they are very fleshy here. Then it is hard for you to know their shoulder line exactly. You don't want to be deceived with the flesh. So yours is to tell them to raise their arm. You can tell them to raise their arm. Then you begin to look for where there is a joint. There is a joint that joins the arm to the shoulder. That's how we are created. There is a joint. That's why the arm is controlled and it's moving up, it's moving down. There is a joint here. Just like when you see the mannequin, you see there is a joint they put here. Let us use the mannequin as the case study. You see that there is a joint here. So that is what you should target on the body. You target that bone. Even if it's a plus size, you may not see it. So you don't measure a flesh and you're thinking it's shoulder. And at the end of the make and the shoulder falls. Your shoulder should not fall. It should lay on the shoulder tip. Do you see what I'm wearing? You see where it's standing exactly? And you can see, imagine this is armhole. And this is a sleeveless. So now imagine it is here. It's a challenge. Now imagine I didn't take the shoulder line very well. It's coming here. I didn't take my shoulder line, it's coming here. Then it begins to pull me too. I won't be comfortable when this sitting pretty well like this teaching you today. Right? Okay. So when you want to take, so that is a tip for you. When you want to take, next time you want to take your clients, especially maybe someone that is very fleshy here for the shoulder line, tell the person, kindly please, I want to feel the bone that join your shoulder to your arm. Just tell the person to raise. Once the person raises, try it now. Everyone raise your arm. You will see the way it controls. You will see how there's a bone here that is trying to control that flow. You're going to notice that it's there. So that is how you measure your shoulder from here to here. You measure, not in front, you measure at the back. So let me bring my tape. Where's my tape measure? Let me show you once again. So you see, we have a detailed video on how to take measurements on this channel. You should see that too. So you see, it is done. But when I want to take my measurements, I can't take my measurements sitting like this. I will have to stand. And it is standing, not sitting. Okay? It is standing, not sitting. Because when you are sitting, your body relaxes. Okay? So you see, so you just take it from that one proceed to another. Like that. Exactly. So that's how to get your shoulder width, because the shoulder line is very important to know very well for you to have your perfect neckline. Neckline is center. It is sitting within the two shoulder. So you don't want to mess it up, please. All right. So your shoulder width, this is from neck point to shoulder tip. Neck point to shoulder. Some people also take their shoulder measurements like this. Neck point here. But you can just do your measurements, then you mark your neckline radius on it. It controls neckline support. If your shoulder measurement is off, the neckline will shift. Okay? It may fall or pull if your shoulder measurement is off. Now the bust depth. Very, very important. Your bust depth. This is one of the most ignored measurements from shoulder, eye point. So anytime you want to measure a bust depth is not measured from here to go across. Don't do that. Please. So you want to measure your bust depth. Let me see if I can show you on the mannequin. Let me put this up a little bit. Okay, so can you see the mannequin here? Standing here. So now you want to measure this mannequin. You want to measure the bust depth. That is the bust, like the apex points. You want to measure the apex, the nipple point. Yeah, nipple point. So now that you want to measure the bust depth, you are now taking a measurement from here and you are bringing it here. Very wrong. Don't do that. Do you get it? Do you get it? When you want to measure your apex, don't do that. So measuring this, you measure from the eye point of the shoulder. Hello? Don't measure from the middle. Don't measure from the tip of the shoulder. Eye point of the shoulder. That's where you should measure from. Then from the eye point of the shoulder, you bring it down here. Over the bust. Not at the side of the bust. Those are the common mistake we make, which is very wrong. So you see, this is from the eye shoulder. You measure from the eye shoulder. Hello? Measure from the eye shoulder to your bust. To your bust points. Don't measure from the mid shoulder. Don't measure from the shoulder tip. And so you measure from here. And it is across over the bust. You see? It is over the bust, not side of the bust. Not that can't get my bust. Look at it. Very wrong. It is over the bust, from the eye shoulder to the bust point, not from the shoulder tip, not from the mid shoulder. Do you get it? That is very, very important because it will affect the proportion and it will affect what you're going to be getting. it distorts your measurements and it's begin to pull your fabric, it's begin to pull your project. So when you make a beautiful, you don't want to make a beautiful dress and then at the end of the day it's pulling and it's not comfortable. Have you ever experienced making a dress that is not sitting pretty well, not comfortable, and then you're like, what happened? I messed this up. Okay, so those are the little things that are very important. Note, let me tell you a golden rule today. Neckline depth must respect the bust level. Modest neckline should never sit lower than 1 inch or 2.5 cm above the apex line. If the style is a pluggy V, you must apply a contour deduction, which we will discuss in the next module. It must respect that bust line. Every neckline depth you want to have must not be below your bust line. What kind of neckline are you having? Are you getting the point? Neckline depth. Let's say you want to have a neckline depth now, and your client is saying, let my neckline that is below the bust. Hello, can you hear me? You are distorting the bust. There is going to be a challenge. Do you get it? So you have to take it below. Okay. Okay, so now you must to obey that. Obey your bust line. So don't do a neckline that is beyond the bust line, except for that pudging line, the neckline I was explaining before, the V, the deep V neckline. It always comes above the neckline. That's for neckline, except above the neckline. That's for neckline, except for jackets. So when you're doing a jacket and you have a break point, and jackets by sometimes me. Okay, thank you. So I'm just seeing the comments now. Okay. Can Okay, please let me confirm with another gadget. Give me a sec. Everyone, can you hear me now? Sorry for the break. Seems like there's a bridge somewhere. All right, so I'm just going to proceed. I'm here now. All right, thank you. So now let us quickly talk about the common mistakes so that we talk about the right way to contour and to do this, right? So as we quickly proceed, the bridge has took some and I don't like that. Wow. All right, so common mistakes to designers make. Okay, thank you, Gibson. Thanks so much. At Gibson, thanks so much. Okay, so now common mistakes you should not do is to guess a neckline width. Don't guess the neck width. That is what we have explained in detail earlier. about what you should do and what you should not do. Ignoring the bust dead, your clients require that you should do that. Otherwise, don't do that. Don't go below the bust line. All right. So using same neckline for all body types is also wrong. All body types. Wow. Sorry about the break. I hope everyone can still hear me very well. Okay. So we just proceed, and then we see how far we can go, so that we round up the section, and it's going to. All right. So now, which of this neckline do you usually ignore? So a question to you now. Tell me which of this neckline you usually ignore. Is it the neck? Is it the shoulder? Is it the bust depth? Let me know your answer in the comment section. At least you know you've been practicing your neckline, you've been doing your neckline, but there is a particular aspect that you usually ignore, and you know that you've been ignoring to measure this certain area, this certain part of the measurement. Just maybe you're thinking maybe it's not necessary, it's not needed, then you've been ignoring that. Let me know. So the designs look professional, your finishing improves instantly. Now let us quickly go into the next section, and I'll be showing you in the next section the exact formula that eliminates neckline gaping completely. That is what we are looking at now. So in the next section, we are looking at the exact eliminates gaping, neckline gaping completely is what we are looking into now. So please, if you are not here and you have not been you are not being concentrated. Okay, thank you. If you are here and you have not been concentrating before, so please do now. We are getting into the right aspects. We've already tackled the very important aspects. Then we are going into another important aspect of this section. Please, here it is very important, and I'm going to be reading some certain things we need to do for us, and I'll be showing you a practical step on the paper before we now go into the practical section according to our roadmap for this particular Gape-Free Neckline Masterclass that we are doing. Today we are tackling all the foundation, the formula, and everything you need to know for all sizes, plus size, and all that. You won't miss any step. So we've already explained that, and I'm very sure that every one of us has been getting value for our time that is fast spent here. All right, so quick one. We are now going to quickly go into the art of the Gape-Free formula. I hope you are still here with me. Art of the Gape-Free formula. So everything we have learned so far is important, but now we are going to show you the real secrets behind the Gape-Free neckline. Okay, thank you. Okay, I can see your thank you. Thank you. All right, so we are going to be showing that the real secrets behind the Gape-Free formula. This is what professionals use to control fits perfect. It is called slash and close method. Everyone, are you there? This method now, I want you to be present here, please. Everyone, somebody drop in the comments. Let me know if we can hear me very well. We want to quickly explain the slash and close method. It is a very important. This is a key moment. I don't want anyone to miss out. So we want to quickly explain the slash. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Oluwaseun. All right, thank you. Because I want us to quickly decode this. I don't want us to miss it. All right, so now what do we call a slash? And thank you so much. What is slash and close method? Slash and close is a pattern manipulation technique. It is used to remove excess fabric. It is used to move. So most of us that we have been doing design, we say slash, we spread, we slash, we close. But in this case, it is not a slash and close. This is what we use to contour the right parts of the body, to do all those, mostly the contour, and we also contour the neckline, especially when I explain to you when we're working with a deep V, or we are going deeper into like a deep measurement. Okay, So it is very important here. So now we are going to be explaining slash and close is a pattern manipulation technique used to remove excess fabric, control neckline opening, make the neckline sit flat on the body. In simple terms, we remove what is causing the gaping. This is the movement. This is the moment the magic happens. We've done the math, we have taken measurements, but now we have a flat piece of paper that needs to work around a curved human bust. So you do not want to have a flat, like a flat paper that works. Okay, everyone, can you still hear me? Sorry about that. Aha. So now this slash and close. Okay, let's say in simple, remove what is causing the gaping. This is the moment where magic happens. I've explained that earlier. Now, the real cause of gaping, neckline gaping is caused by excess allowance at the neckline cuff. Neckline gaping, excess allowance at the neckline cuff. So let's say you are working with a scoop neckline and there is excess allowance around that part, is going to cause gaping. It's going to be like a challenge. Not know, but actually when it may look very fine, it may look very okay. So that's why fineness is not just is not the entire, let me say, summary of a design, until when you put it on, then you actually see a human body coming into a cloth, a flat cloth, and then you begin to see something that needs to be adjusted. Okay, so not just weight, not just depth, but extra space that the body does not need. The contour that logic. Now let's think of a piece of paper. If you try to wrap a piece of paper around a ball, it's wrinkled and gaps. To make it fit perfectly, you have to pinch out the excess. Now I'm going to be showing you a practical now. I hope you're still with me. So let's look at a ball. Let's say this is a ball here. Everyone, can you see this? Everyone, hello? Are you there? Can you see this? So this is like a ball now. Okay? So you pick a piece of paper, and you're wrapping it around the ball. You notice that when you wrap this piece of paper around this ball, it's not laying flat. Thank you so much, Oluwaseun. You see the way it forms some curve. It's not laying flat. Now the paper was neat initially. The paper was flat initially. This is the paper. It was neat initially, but the moment it comes to the bust, you see, it's no longer laying flat. It begins to have some place. So can this paper be laid flat on the 3D on this ball like this? No. So that is how human body is. Human body coming to like a flat cloth. Then you begin to look at, okay, it's pinch here, I need to pinch it. It comes out here, I need to pinch it. It forms another thing here, I need to pinch it. And that's how the way we put the gaping, we put like the reduction, we put like the contour, and that is even why that even comes in. You put like a dart to put the fitted, to do this, to do that. Human body coming to a flat ball. So, that are the things we now begin to put into consideration one after the other, including also the neckline. Now, the gape, on a standard paper, on the standard pattern, the neckline is a straight line. Okay? The reality, the chest is hollow. You see, just like the chest is hollow above the bust, that hollow is where the extra fabric lives. Aha. Now let us talk about the fix. We are going to steal that extra fabric from the neckline and move it to the bust dart. This is where it's getting interesting. Hello? Those extras that you normally have when you make a neckline, and then it's like it's opening, and then your V is not V, it's not laying flat. Your V is still opening. Maybe a bust come inside it and it's opening, like a scoop, it's opening, like a sweetheart, it's opening. So this is now that aspect. We are now going to be stealing those gape and we'll be transferring them towards the bust dart. So we push it into the bust dart. All right. So if you're now working with a princess seam, we push it into the waist dart. So it just goes there, and then the neckline is laying flat. Even when a body enter it, even a plus size, a small size, then it just remain fitted without challenge. Do we get it? I hope you are still getting me. All right. So now the step in doing this, I want to quickly tell you the step in doing this and stealing those gape on the neckline. So pushing it towards the bust dart or pushing it towards the waist dart. That's if you are working with a princess seam, then everything just goes into the star line. I want to tell you the steps one after the other now. First, identify the neckline. Identify where the neckline is gaping. It is very crucial. Number one thing is you have to understand where the neckline is gaping. Let's say like a V-neck now. So let's say this is a V-neck. And then when you make this, then maybe the gaping is happening here, or the gaping is happening here, or you just have to know where the gaping is first. That is what you have to notice first. Identify where the necking, you draw a line. Then you're going to be drawing a line from the neckline to the bust point. Where that gaping is happening, it is where now the confusion comes to. How do I even know where the gaping will be when I have not even sewed the clothes, when I have not even cut the clothes, I'm not making the pattern? I will be telling you that. Hello, I will be telling you where the neckline, the gaping may occur for every neckline variations, and I'm going to be telling you very soon now. So please stay tuned. So then I'm talking about the procedure. First is to identify where the neckline is gaping. Then the second is to draw a line from the neckline to the bust point. That is when once you identify where the gape occurs, then you want to draw a line to connect to where the gaping occurs. You slash. Okay, so then that is when you now slash. Cut along the line. You close overlap slightly, and then we transfer it into the bust or into the waist if you are doing a princess seam. Now let us go into the step-by-step detail of this slash and close method. We are going to this step detailed on this close slash method. But before we go into that, quickly let me talk about okay, let us do that quickly before I move to another one so that we won't skip the process. I'm trying to rush now. I don't want to rush. I want you to also get it. All right. So number one, identify the gape points. That's the first thing. Identify the gape points on your drafted neckline from the midpoint of the curve or the slanted line. So first is to identify, connect to the apex. Draw a straight line from that midpoint directly to your bust apex. That is the nipple point. That is how to remove the gape. Mark the reduction depending on the cuff size. You mark a small wedge on the neckline. That is like you are removing that. Like the same way you've been drawing your shoulder dart, your neckline dart, your all these darts. Okay, so that's why you're going to be connecting this wedge towards the bust point. Now quickly let me tell you the measurement to use if you are to reduce from the neckline reduction, from the neckline gape, how to remove the gape. The measurements, what measurements, princess, am I to put to remove the gape? When you say I'm going to be removing and I will transfer to the bust and I'll transfer to the waist. So what exact measurements I am to draw on that exact point? I will be telling you the exact points you are to put, you are to remove the gape from all the neckline variations. I'll be telling them now. But right now, I want to tell you the amount of measurement to remove, so that the gape will not be there on the neckline. So for a B cup, you have to know your cup. If you don't know your cup, you have made more research on cup. For B cup mostly, I think for what we call like maybe like a small, medium, and large. So let's say this is small. B cup, small, use B cup too. So for a B cup, 0.6 cm or 0.25 inches. 0.6 centimeter or 0.25 inches. That is for a B cup. So if it is for a CD cup we work for a medium measurement. CD cup, that's a CD cup for like a medium measurement. You can use 1.2 centimeter or 0.5 inches. This that I'm calling are the amounts of measurement to remove from that gape side of the neck so that your neck will sit right. So not that we just removing it. When we remove, we transfer the excess. That is, we are stealing it. We are taking it from the neckline, and then we are not just taking it, we transfer it back to the bust dart, or we transfer it into the waist dart. That is if we are working with a princess seam style line, that we just have a style line, there is no bust dart. Bust dart has also been transferred into the style line. Okay, so we are taking it away from the neck so that it won't gape, and then we place it, push it towards our bust dart or our waist dart. So the amount to remove for a small cup, that is what I'm saying again, a big cup is 0.6 centimeter or 0.25 centimeter. A CD cup, medium can use that, is 1.2 centimeter or 0.5 inches. Then E cup, which is the large cup, is 2 centimeter. We can work within the range of 2 centimeter to 3 centimeter, or 0.5 centimeter to 1.25 0.75 inches to 1.25 inches. Pardon me. 2 centimeter to 3 centimeter, that is for a large size, or 0.75 inches to 1.25 inches, that is for E size cup, that is plus size, that is like a large volume. So if you are like plus, you can now add maybe little measurement to this. Do you get it? So after this procedure, so once you close that dart, once you close the dart, that particular measurement you put there on that side of the neckline that you want to gape, that may likely gape. Once you insert that measurement that I just called out to you, working with the sizes, small, medium, large, plus size, then you slash it towards the bust. You slash. When you slash, draw it towards the bust, you slash, you open up your bust dart, then it is transferred. That excess will now be transferred towards the bust. When it's transferred towards the bust, it helps you to steal the excess on the neckline, and it is moved towards the bust dart. Then you take your dart adequately. Then your neckline sits perfectly. Am I making sense? Am I making sense? All right. So the results, the pattern will now curve inward. Your side burst will automatically open wider to accommodate the bust volume. So once it is transferred, the bust dart, the side bust dart will just open on its own, just like the way we've been transferring that. We have been watching our tutorials here. Okay, thanks so much. So just like you have been watching, so it just automatically take it and it accommodates your bust, and then it's lay flat. Then your neckline look perfect by the time you make it without issue. Do you get it? Now, the question now is, where do I apply the slash and close? Because you actually say I will do the slash and close. Where? How do I know for different kind of neckline? Now, where to apply this slash and close? Okay, so let me quickly call out that of where to apply that. Now, everyone quickly write down. Let us start with the neckline variation. So for your sweetheart neckline, you are to take this dart as the highest point of the height curve. Where is my sweetheart? You are to take it at the highest point. This is a sweetheart neckline. You make your sweetheart. If you have made it, I've experienced it. When I make a sweetheart and I didn't do the gape contour, it happens. I don't know if you have noticed it before. It happens around this side, that gape. The gape I'm talking about, it happens around this side. So you have to take this at this height gape here. So you're going to be taking the measurement here. That is, if you want to be a small cup, you just take like 0.6 cm. Yeah, you connect it towards the bust point. You slash the bust point, and then you close it here. Then it's transferred to this place. I will be showing you. I have done that on this other side of this pattern. If you have seen this pattern very well, do you see it? Can you see this? So on the second side, you can see that it's open wide. I will be showing you that. But before I go into, let me quickly call out where to remove it for everyone. So for the sweetheart neckline, at the highest point of the arch curve, this is where the fabric bridges over the hollow of the chest. So remove the gape there. On the V-neck, exactly at the midpoint diagonal slope, the mid. That V, where is that V? See, this is V. So remove it around the V here, around this space. Remove it here. So just connect from here to the bust point. Then you close it. By the time you close it, it helps it. Okay, exactly at the midpoint diagonal shape prevents the long diagonal line from bowing outward. So instead of it opening, when you wear a V and the V is instead of it opening, you have already taken that gape that is meant to open. Then it lay flat. Am I making sense? Okay, so for a square neck, at the bottom corner, where is that square? Even you will know that it will gape around the bottom corner. Look at this square now. So it tends to gape here. It tends to gape here. Yes, it tends to gape at those sharp edge side. It tends to gape. By the time you make it, you see some of them just fold like this. Okay, that is not appropriate. So at that bottom corner like this, the 90 angle that I just showed you now keeps the corner sharp and flush against the rib cage. Okay, then the queen honey at the intersection where the eye side neck meets the front scope. Where is the queen honey? You know, queen honey is a very sensitive neckline too. Okay, so this is it. This is queen honey. It tends to gape here, and it can also gape here. Okay, so you can also take your gape there. You can just take mark the amount that I called earlier, connect it to the bust point, transfer it, close it there, and transfer it to the bust volume. So it doesn't gape. Even when you wear it on that bust, it doesn't gape, doesn't pull it away again. The bolt neckline, 3 centimeter or 1.25 inches away from the shoulder point. That is for the bolt. So for your bolt neckline, this is your bolt neckline. So you're just going to be measuring from here. Measure about 1.25 inches or 3 centimeters. If you are working with a centimeter, then you connect towards the bust point. Right, perfect. So now the deep plunge, that is the deep V. So for the bolt, when you take it appropriately, that is from the shoulder tip, you measure about 1.25 or 3 centimeter. So now you know this particular one is on fold now. So if you also draft your pattern on fold, so you have to take on this side and this side. So for all the neckline, I draft this on fold so that you can see the effects of the necklines when I'm making the tutorial, because you're going to be seeing the practice step in drafting these necklines. Okay, that's why I make sure I drafted everything on fold. So you have to do it on this side and do it on the other side. But if you are just drafting just one half of your front, then just do it one. Then you're just going to be using this to cut your fabric on fold. Do you get it? So it applies to every other types of the necklines. Am I making sense? All right, thank you. So now this is it. So when you do this, it stops the wide neckline from sliding off the shoulder. So that is for the bolt neckline. Then for the deep V, that is for the deep V. Okay, I want you to make a plunging V for me. It should be below the bust line. So now you're making it and then you put it on and it's kind of opening. Your V is not Ving. Okay, so you have to take this about you take above the bottom of the V. So for the deep V, you take 2 centimeter or 0.75 inches above the bottom of the V. So you know the bottom of the V, where your V lands. So just come up a little bit. So you measure 2 cm. So that is the deep V I'm talking about. So this is not a deep V. This is my usual V. So if you want to do for deep V now, from here, from this point here, are you seeing this very well? Okay, from this point here, just measure about 0.75 or 2 cm. From here, you measure upward. Okay, so when you measure upward, then you mark it here. Then you connect towards the bust point. So this also, it reduces that tendency of making it to open up. So just make it come down, make it press and relax on the body instead of gaping. So we remove that. We have already conditioned it and we still that gaping and we push it towards the bust volume. This creates maximum tension to hold the plunge in place in place safely. Haha. Amazing. Am I really making sense, everyone? Is it clear? If it is clear, let me know in the comment section if this section is clear. If the section is clear, kindly write clear in the section. So we are running on very soon. I want to show you the practical step now on my table. So please, let me quickly explain these steps. Then I show you the practical steps of how to do that reduction. Now, how to choose right neckline. This is the design intelligence you don't want to miss. Drafting a neckline is one thing. Neckline is what makes you a designer, because a beautiful neckline on paper can look completely wrong on the body. Your goal as a designer is simple. Balance the body using the neckline. You need to know that your goal, it is one thing. Balance the body using the neckline. Neckline is not something we can just joke with. We don't just look away from it. You balance the neckline with the body. So now there's some factors we look into when we are making when we for our clients. Let's say somebody walk into your store, or just say, hello, can you make me a dress I want to make for yourself? And like, okay, what kind of neckline can you recommend? Now you look at the body, you look at the shoulder, you look at the face. I say, okay, this will look perfectly on you. That makes you a professional. Even when you are saying it and you're explaining it in detail, say, oh, this person actually know what he or she is doing. That's why fashion designers should always read. You need to research and also analyze styles on people. When you see it on people, why this style looks good on this particular person and is not looking great on this person, and it doesn't looking like what I ordered versus what I got. Right? Okay. So now let us look into these factors. Factor one is the body shape. We all know the body shape types. Let's talk about the bear, the apple, the hourglass, the rectangle, and all that. So now let us talk about the body shape. First factor, pear shape. Pear shape it has a wider hips, smaller upper bodies. So for this kind of shape, both neckline look good. Off shoulder and sweetheart, those are their major neckline. Both off shoulder and then sweetheart. That is, we're talking of a pear shape. We're talking of a pear shape. It has a wider hip. They have a wider hip and they have a smaller upper body. So this kind of people, you want to just do both neckline for them, off shoulder and the sweetheart neckline. This particular type adds volume to their upper body. Now let's talk about the apple shape. Apple shape, full midsection. They have the full midsection. How the way apple is. You can imagine apple. Picture apple now. Full midsection. Do V-neck, scoop neckline, create this kind of style. So when somebody that is full at the midsection, you can imagine. So this person, you should recommend a V-neck or a scoop neckline, because this particular neckline you are recommending for them, it creates vertical illusion, reduces bulk. This creates a vertical illusion for them and reduces bulk. Doesn't create too much. So it takes attention from that midsection and put it on the neckline because of the V. Do you get it? I don't know if I'm making sense. Right. Then we move on to the hourglass shape. Hourglass shape is the balanced body shape. The figure 8, balanced, all balanced there, tiny waist and all that. So this hourglass shape, sweetheart neckline, V-neck, scoop neck, they enhances natural curves for them. So for hourglass shape, the sweetheart, V-neck, scoop, it enhances natural curves for them. Now, rectangle shape. Rectangle shape is like a straight body. Do you imagine? Can you picture a rectangle shape? How rectangle shape look like? Do sweetheart and asymmetric scoop. Sweetheart, asymmetric, and scoop neckline. This type of neckline, it creates illusion of curves for them because they just look straight. So it just creates an illusion. Just like illusion of okay. Do you get it? All right. So now let us quickly go into the second factor, which is the bust size. So the first factor is the body shape. Now, second factor, it is the bust size. So for bust size, for a full bust, somebody that is very full on the bust, do V-neck, do scope. Avoid very high neckline. Don't do high neckline for full bust. I don't know if you have seen a full bust wearing high neckline. Do you see how it is? The bust is not even giving the effect of the high neck. So avoid very high neckline for a full bust. Reduces heaviness. So this particular set of people, when you high neckline for them, this it reduces heaviness and prevents gaping. Okay, so for a full bust, avoid very high necklines. Do V-neck and scoop for them. It is perfect. That is why you see V-neck on them and it's amazing. You see scoop too, it is amazing. Also, most times avoid jerry neckline for them too if you can. Okay, so the jerry neckline too is close and both neckline too is close to the neck. Okay, so instead of doing both, instead of doing jerry, do scoop, do V. You can even do sweet deep and do V for them. Don't do high neckline. Don't do anything high for them because it reduces the heaviness and all that. Do you get it? So now small bust. Oh my God. Small bust, jerry neckline is their thing. It is their thing. Have you seen when they model outfits on all those apps that sells clothes? Look at small bust. Look at, just do analysis, do random analysis and check if what I am actually saying here is true. Just check around. Small bust, geo neckline is their thing. Square is their thing. High neck, perfect. All these add fullness and structure for them. Because now they have a small bust, so attention is not really on their bust. Attention is on their neck. You get it? So do jewa, do square, and do high neck for them. Perfect. Now the third factor is the shoulder width. Very important. You can joke with that. Shoulder width. That is the third factor. So for a shoulder width, broad shoulder, so we have broad and then we have a narrow shoulder. Those are the two types of shoulder we have. Or do you know of any other? Okay, so for me, I just know about two. I know of those. Those are the wide and those are narrow. I don't know if you know of any other. So we have the wide and then we have the narrow. So for the wide, for the broad shoulder, V-neck, deep scoop, all these ones break horizontal width. That is a broad shoulder that is wide. So V-neck is okay for them. Deep scoop is also okay for them. It breaks the horizontal width. Then the narrow shoulder, for the narrow shoulder, both neckline, perfect. Shoulder is narrow. Me, if I have a narrow shoulder, I can wear both. Off shoulder, perfect. Square, perfect. All these things, they add width and balance. So you see styling and all that, all these things just have to take time, take precision, look into it one after the other, and then you become a pro. You get it? And then when you make the outfit and it looks amazing and say, wow, why is it looking so good on her and not so good on her? You're the same designer, you're the same fabric, you're the same person that make it, and you look at it. So these are the factors that make it happen. The fourth factor now, it is the neck length and thickness. Neck length and thickness. Another major factor. Short neck, thick neck. All these ones, their neckline type is V-neck, scoop neck. That is their thing. You can't be doing, don't be doing a high neck for short and thick neck. I don't know if you have seen this turtleneck kind of a sweater, kind of a cardigan. You see it when you see it on people that have a long neck. Do you see how it looks on, like when somebody is short and have a thick neck and is putting it on and like, something is off here. Yes, it's off actually. So for neckline, thickness and length, short neck, for someone that have a short neck and a thick neck, V-neck and scoop, can you guess? All these ones, they create length. When you do a V-neck, it creates length for the neck. So, you know, V becomes like this. Oh, and it creates like an illusion of like the length is long. So for the one that have a short neck, you're now doing, you still tighten it. Everything is shocked. There is no room for the design to show. And even the body shape is not following, the body proportion is not following the design. Something is off. Do you get it? So for such person, don't do tight neck. So V-neck, scoop neckline, avoid. So do V-neck for them, do scoop. Avoid jewelry for themselves. Okay? So avoid high neck. So because when you choose kind of neckline, it creates length. Then for long neck, high neckline. Oh my God. When you see someone, oh God, and you put high neck, amazing. Elter neck, amazing. Because it's long already. So other ones, you have to even avoid a deep V for them. Because deep V will elongate the neck and it's just like long. Amazing. Okay, so eye neckline, jewel, both, every neckline that is close to the neck, do it for them. Reduces excessive legs because their neck is long already, so you don't want to do something long. It is the face shape. You don't know. It's part of it though. The face shape. The face shape, we have the round face. Tell me, what kind of face do you have? Is it square? Is it oval? Is it round? Tell me the kind of shape, the kind of face shape I have. Okay? Anyone? All right. So, fifth factor is the face shape. Round face. For round face, V-neck is good for them. Scoop is good for them. It adds length to the face. For over face, almost all necklines. For some that have over face, you are free with all necklines type. Balanced face shape. Okay, square face. Yeah, we have the square face too. Sweethearts, we complement their face. Scoop, we complement their face because of the softening angles. So it's to complement their face. Long face. So now have a very long face, do both, do eye neckline, and then all these parts of neckline, it reduces length. Are we making sense? Hello, are you still there? Okay. Give me your best emoji in the comment section if this is making sense. Your neckline must balance both the body and the face, not just once, not just one. Your neckline must balance the body and the face, not just one. Common styling mistakes. Choosing neckline based on trend. Don't just always do it. Check if it actually fits you. I know it's trending, it's a style, okay? But if you really are intentional about design, so you should always check if it's actually work for me. Ignoring clients' body structure. Don't ignore their body structure when you're making outfits for them. Using same neckline for everyone. Everything. No, not same neckline for everyone, please. Now, question for you. Which factor do you usually consider first? Body shape, bust, face shape? Type your answer. Let me hear from you. Hello, I want to hear from you. Which which factor do you usually consider first? Is it the body shape? Is it the bust? Is it the face? Type your answer in the comments. Let me know. So now we are rounding up to the final section. We are almost done. We are rounding up, and then I will show you the practical step of that reduction of the gape. I'm going to be using one example. I'm going to be using sweetheart neckline to do that reduction for you so that you can do it on your pattern when you draft your pattern paper. When you draft your neckline, you're going to be drafting your neckline and you're going to be reducing it yourself. That's why you're doing this live section. Okay, so don't miss out to do that reduction. You are to do it on your neckline when you draft. All right. So now you can measure, draft, control fit, shoe styles that flatter. That is what makes you a complete designer. Can you applaud yourself? We really make sense today. And I love it for you that you actually learn this today. Now let's wrap this up with final corrections, professional tip, and your questions. Let's quickly go over what we have covered today. Neckline, we covered the neckline architecture, the 3 control points. Do you remember? The neck width, the neck depth, and the shoulder line. Those are the 3 control points. Essential measurements you need to look into: your neck width, your neck and all that. We look into that. The neckline formula, which we use the circle constant, which is your radius, how to get the radius of your neckline, which is the neck circumference divided by 6.28, which will actually give you the radius for your true neckline, that we also call the base neckline, that we also call the round neckline, and it's also called the jewel neckline. We have actually calculated it and the amount of this allowance to be added. Then we look into the slash and close secrets, which is the art of this training, art of this masterclass. Okay, it's a section that we have list where to take the gape, the volume to take depend on the bust size, how to do it to close, and where it goes into. Choosing the right neckline for body face and type, those are the things we just cover now. This is not just a class, right? It's a complete neckline system. After today, you should be able to draft necklines with confidence, prevent graping completely, designed for different body types. This is a professional skill. Everyone, can you give your tutor a round of applause? So I want you to understand something. Every great designer you admire today, they started by learning structure like this. All right. So don't rush. Hello. Don't rush. You start from somewhere. It is the basis. So we'll just start from basis and then you keep learning and then you keep growing. Learning and mastering comes from practicing. Even when you make your drafts, when you see the drafting, when we do the practical drafting video, when you make your drafts, you make your mistake, you learn from the mistake, you do it again. Time and it can also be perfect. And if it is not perfect the first time, you do it all over and over again. And remember, there are no hard rules to fashion. It is just tips, just that you just have to know your foundation and why this is wrong, why this is right, why it can be better. That is why we have this masterclass. Everything we explain here today, you can also do more research about it. You can also teach yourself more about it. You can practice it. And then if you have opinion about something, okay, you say it this way, but I found out that it is this way. Let me know too. We are all learning and we are growing every day. So learning like this, so don't rush, practice what you have learned. What was the biggest takeaway today? Let me know. What is that your key moment today? Tell me what you learned uniquely today. There is a particular for every section, for every time, for every garden. There is always a key moment for everyone. Tell me your key moments. Can you type it in the comment section? I really want to hear from you. Type it in the comment section. My key moment today, my takeaway, my take home today. If it is a line, if it is a moment, if it is the honing and the offering of the data. Okay, so let me know your takeaway moment today. Now, everyone, I have something exciting for you. Woo! Drum rolls. Are you excited as I am? I have something special for everyone. Thursday, April 2nd, I will be dropping a detailed drafting video on YouTube on how to draft this neckline. Hello, everyone, be anticipated for the drafting class so that you draft this. So the detailed video of this drafting of this neckline will be dropping Thursday, April 2nd. We are progressing, right? Are we making sense? Right? So this place, I will be showing you step by step how to draft 12. I said 12. Do you hear it? 12, not 2, not 5, not 10. 12. 12 different neckline variations. I hope you're drawing the drum. Full practical drafting. Full practical drafting. Now, if you enjoyed today's class, you don't want to miss that video because that's where we go. So make sure you do this now. Subscribe to this channel if it's your first time here. Turn on your notification bell so you will be the first to see it when it drops. Those Fashions Academy don't just teach styles. I teach systems that make you better. Hello, this is Those Fashions Academy. What we do here, this is where we give our creativity expression. Everyone, so now we are going to be going to, don't go yet, hold on. I want to show you something on the drafting table now. How to remove the gape on the neckline. You have to see it here. You may not see it on the drafting video. I'm only showing you in the drafting video, the practical class. I'm going to be dropping April 2nd how to draft different neckline, but I'm not showing you how to draft, how to remove the gape on the neckline. I'm showing you right now on the table right now. Stay tuned right now. Now, quickly, before we do that, if you want a more advanced beginner step-by-step training, I will be announcing something packages that I'm bringing to each and every one of you. You will love it and you want to be part of it. I'll be announcing something special soon. However, always let me know. If you want a one-on-one section from me, do let me know. I remain Mary and doing your fashion store. So quickly right now, let us go to the table and then let me quickly show you how to remove the gape. And then I'm going to be using the Sweetheart neckline as a case study. Let's quickly get right into that. Let me clear my table. I have lots of paper. Okay. Where is my sweetheart? Are you still there? Don't go. Ensure you hold on. Then, as I am doing this now, I want every one of you to be typing your question. Anyone that has a question, please quickly be typing it in the chat box so that I attend to it before we end this section. I think we have spent more than 2 hours, right? And it's been amazing. So quickly, let us do the Gape-Free formula. Okay, so are you seeing my table? Let me raise this up a little bit. All right. Yeah, perfect. Okay. So are you seeing this? All right. So you see, this is a sweetheart neckline. Should I still raise this up a little bit? Okay, I think it is perfectly sweet. So this is a sweetheart neckline. So I have gone ahead to remove the gape from this part. So you see, it is shallow here, unlike the way it is wider here. We have removed the gape, and you remember what I explained in when we were explaining earlier. I told you when you want to remove gape, you are to remove at the highest point. That is for a sweetheart neckline, and then I'm gonna head to explain for other necklines as well where to remove. So if you have been following through, so if you have not been following through, you have to also recheck this video then. So you see, this is where is the highest point of this neckline. You see where it is, somewhere around here. So when you have somewhere around there, the first thing you want to do there is, first of all, you get the exact place, then you just mark. Okay, so this is the place I am going to be removing the excess so it doesn't gape, right? So once you mark that exact point, the next step for you is to now connect it to your bust point, right? So this is my bust point. I didn't connect my standard dart to the bust point. Remember, when you are doing your dart, you take about 0. Like 1 inch away from that line exactly. So since I have my bust point now, the next thing I want to do is I'm just going to be connecting from this to come and meet it here. Do you see that? It's the same process you're going to be doing for other variation necklines. So once you connect to meet with this there, so now you're not going to be say, okay, what bust measurements am I working with? Is it the small bust? Is it the medium bust? Is it the large bust? But for this one, we are working with the medium bust. This measurement here, this draft here, it is the medium bust. So the medium bust is 1.2 cm or is 0.5 inch. So that is it. We are working with cm, 1.2 cm. So you are not going to be creating a dart on this line, creating a wedge. So 0.5 inches is what I'm working with. So I am going to be taking 0.25 inch on both legs. So like this. So I'm going to be taking 0.25 inch on both legs. So 0.25 here is 0.25 here. Okay, so I've gone ahead to mark those lines. Do you see those tiny lines? Those tiny lines, right? So the goal is to remove 0.25. So, and then you're going to be connecting again to the bust point. Perfect. Is this clear enough for you to see? Perfect. So you see, I've connected this down. It's connected to that bust point. So now the next thing I want to do here now is I'm going to be now transfer it from here to come to here. Perfect. And then you remove the gap. So just need to be cutting through the folding line, this line exactly, the middle line, cut towards the bust point. Okay, so when you get to the bust point like that, then you're going to be coming to the bust that. Don't slash through, accidentally slash through. So be careful not to slash through there. So now that you slash your bust point, so I'm going to be taping this back. All right, so once you slash towards to your bust point, all right, so you're now going to be closing it here, and then this place will be open wide. So you want to go ahead now. So you're going to be folding, you remember we've already opened this up, we've already splashed this. So you fold the line that you put the dots there, you fold it. So after folding it, you place this on this, and then you close it up. So by the time you close it up, it's transferred to this place. So the goal is to remove, we still the excess here. This neckline, there is no way it will be gaping. Honestly. Do you get it? So you still do anything that will make it gape here, and then you transfer the volume to the bust. So the bust accommodates the volume, and instead of the volume to be around the neck, for the bust to be pulling it, it's contained into the bust. So now that we on the bust there now, so the next thing we want to do now is we are just going to go ahead and then you tape this. So go ahead and tape this. Aha, this is the wow moment. You see? So it is the gape, everything, every factor that may want to gape, here, boom, we remove it there and then we put it here. Is this not really amazing? So tell me how this neckline wants to gape. You can see that it's now curved inward more. Instead of it to be opening. So this mouth will not be opening like this. When you make it again, it's pressing towards the neckline and then it sits flat because we have transferred the volume and we have put it here. So remember, that is why I took my time in listing out the numbers, the amounts you need to take for all bust sizes and where you take it. So the same thing applies to all, both neckline or anything you're doing, it applies to all. So for your boats, it is from your shoulder tip. You measure about how many inches do you say we measured in? 3 cm or 1.2 inches. You measure or 2.5 inches. You measure down here. Then you connect to the bust point. Same thing, same way. You take it and then you transfer it to the bust start. Hello. So now, everyone, any question before we end this section? We are about to end this live section. We have learned so much today. Everyone in the comment section, tell me your takeaway moments. Tell me your moments. Tell me what you have learned so far, and tell me what you have really enjoyed in this section. I'm listening. I'm here. Okay, so because we are running home very soon. So right now, I guess this is where we end today's session. Are you typing in the comment section? Oh. So, everyone, it is the end of today's class, today masterclass. So, how was it? Was it worth your time? So, this is it. So, this is no more guessing, no more gaping neckline, right? Promise? Let me hear in the comment section. No more guessing, no more gaping neckline. It is perfect neckline. And then look out for the practical step comment section. Everyone in the comment section? Anyone? Okay, so this is where we end for today. Like I said, I remain Mary Adedoyin, your lead fashion tutor. And if you have not subscribed on this channel, subscribe and turn on notification not to miss out on any masterclass like this that we bring here, and even our tutorial video that drop here every week on this channel. So this is where we stop for today. After next time that we'll be streaming live like this one, please, next time we are streaming this, also invite your friend, invite students, invite as much that I would love to learn. The replay of this section will be dropping on this channel. You can always visit this live stream so that you can add up with what you actually miss. So live section is just advantage for you to ask questions. Is there any question for today's section? All right. In the absence of none, this is where I stop for today. I am going to see you in the next. Thank you so much for staying up to this moment. Oluwa Sheung. I see you, and then I also see K. I've forgotten that mail. I see K at gmail.com. You stick to the hand, and then thank you for participating fully in class as well. So we see next in the next masterclass, and then on the WhatsApp group. So we are going to be meeting there so that we explain our practical, because we have to do practicals and submit for this masterclass. So this is where we stop for today. See you next lesson. No more drafting wrong. Bye.